NetsBoy, so let's hear what he has to say. His name is NetsBoy, he thinks the world is all over when the Nets just can't play. What up, Net fans? NetsBoy here, bringing your latest in your Brooklyn Nets news. Okay. Let's go. Let's look at the last few games for the Nets. Let's just go right into it. No small talk to start off this episode. The last few games for the Nets have been a real struggle. It looked good at first when they had some good wins. Over the Magic and then the Timberwolves thing. They started off the year really well, and then they all of a sudden had some tough losses against the Celtics, then against the Raptors. Then they got blown out by the Pistons, but the biggest thing that we're seeing from this Nets team is the usual, the lack of consistency. It's all the same thing with this Nets team. They're just not a consistent team, and that is a huge issue. I mean, to be one of the better teams in the NBA, or just to be a respectable team in the NBA, you need to be consistent. And we've seen it before. This Nets team can play with almost anyone in the league. We saw good close games against the Raptors, close games against the Celtics, wins over the Timberwolves, wins over the Wizards. But then we see them play just terribly and get blown out. I mean, apparently they can't beat the Knicks. It's like as long as they play the Knicks, they will always lose, which is, to me, very interesting. And they don't even play them well. They just get blown out constantly. They just have to be more of a consistent team. In addition to that, there's a lot of speculation, or not speculation, but a lot of opinions out there that the Nets are not getting the same amount of respect or calls that other teams are having. Now, this was more of an issue earlier on in the previous weeks with the games against the Celtics and the Raptors, with Spencer Dinwiddie in particular saying that he doesn't feel the Nets are getting the same respect, or him in particular is not getting the same respect by the officials. He had that whole situation against the Raptors where he, looked at the camera and said, "This is exactly what I'm talking about," all that stuff. And my personal opinion on the matter is that there is a good level of truth to it. Now, there is clearly favoritism in the NBA. There clearly is. Superstars get the benefit of the doubt all the time. That has always been the factor as long as I can remember in the NBA. Okay? There is no doubt in my mind that players like James Harden, Stephen Curry, Dwayne Wade, especially way back in his heyday, players like that, Russell Westbrook, players like that are going to get the beneficial calls. Notice I did not put LeBron in that category because I don't know if he always gets. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. It seems like it goes one way or the other with LeBron. Sometimes he gets really favorable calls, and then sometimes you're like, yeah, that was definitely a foul. You're like, so LeBron, it goes both ways. He either gets the call that he shouldn't get, or he doesn't get the call that he should get. It goes both ways with that. But there is absolutely superstar favoritism in the NBA. And and a lot of people say, it's about protecting the players. It's not about protecting the players. It's just that that's what these players get out of a level of respect. And that is more or less the way I look at this. So yes, Spencer is not getting the same calls as other players in the league, like DeMar DeRozan. Like that last play against the Raptors, that reach and foul, okay, that was a foul. I think it was. Though Joe Harris got his arm, and they gave him the continuation, and he scored. But if that was DeMar DeRozan doing the play after that Spencer did what he did, and he got hit by Ibaka at the end, I think they would have called that a foul. I really do, if it was DeMar DeRozan. So I agree with Spencer in the fact that the refs don't call the game the same for a player like Spencer Dinwiddie and the Brooklyn Nets compared to a player like DeMar DeRozan and the Toronto Raptors. That is definitely true. That being said, I still think, though, that is something that comes over time, and you earn the respect of the officials. And you earn it by playing at that high level and being a respectable team. And I think Kenny Atkinson, touched upon that. Now, listen, do I think that's right? I don't. I personally think a foul is a foul, a no call is a no call. It doesn't matter who the player is. That's my personal opinion. But I understand that this is a hard job to be a ref, and so you give players the benefit of the doubt, and you give certain players a little bit more of a benefit of the doubt based off the reputation they have acquired over time compared to other players. It's as simple as that. Like I said, I don't think it's right, but that's the way it works. And so it's not that the refs are saying, he's Spencer Dinwiddie, I'm not going to make this call. It's just kind of, well, I'm not sure, so because you were Spencer Dinwiddie and I'm not sure about the call, I'm not going to give you the benefit of the doubt like I would if you were a James Harden, Stephen Curry, DeMar DeRozan, so on and so forth. So, so that was a huge issue, and Spencer, kind of became the face of mediocre, I don't want to say mediocrity, the face of mediocre players pleading their cases. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change the fact that the Nets still play on a very inconsistent level, whether they're getting calls or not. And that is the biggest issue with this team, like I said earlier, is inconsistency. We need this team to be more consistent. And as much as I like Spencer Dinwiddie, he has shown inconsistency at times. They all have. Rondae Hollis-Jefferson showing inconsistency. Karis LeVert showing inconsistency. Spencer Dinwiddie. Really, the only consistent player that we've seen, really, has been Joe Harris, in my opinion. And I don't know about you guys. I'm getting a little sick of Allen Crabbe. I really am. I understand he's streaky. He's a great shooter. He's a decent defender. But I'm really getting tired of him. It's just, to me, not worth the investment the Nets are putting into him. They obviously wanted him. They traded for him. They offered him that contract. Ultimately, the contract he's on is the contract the Nets offered him because he was a restricted free agent. Yes, I don't think the Nets would have structured it that same way if he was unrestricted. But, either way, the Nets really wanted him. They brought him on board, and I'm just not excited about him. Like, he's just a solid three shooter. He occasionally he makes some plays here and there, but I'd much rather see Joe Harris than that. You know what I mean? And I'd rather see a lot more Joe Harris and even Damari Carroll than I would Allen Crabbe. But I'm not saying Allen Crabbe is bad. I just don't think he's been worth it. Like, he has just not been the player I was hoping he would be. He has not developed the way that I think a lot of Net fans thought he would. But he's still trying to figure it out. But I'm just personally, I'd rather see the Nets get rid of Allen Crabbe, and it's not going to happen because of that contract, and also the Nets really like him. I would like to see the Nets try to trade Allen Crabbe. And a lot of the rumors are that the Nets are going to trade Joe Harris, which I would be upset about. But I also understand that Joe Harris's contract ends at the end of the year. He's playing fantastic. You could get a first-round draft pick from him for a team that's looking to try to solidify their bench in like a contending team, like a Toronto Raptors or a Cleveland Cavaliers who have been struggling of late. They might want a perimeter player, which is funny because Joe Harris came from the Cavaliers. Player like that might give up a first-round draft pick for Joe Harris. So I understand why Joe Harris's name is floated out there in trade rumors. But me personally, I think Joe Harris is a key piece to this Nets team in the future. He's 26 years old. He's not like he's old. I would sign Harris to a 3-year deal at the end of this year and continue to, see how he develops and if he could be a key player. But I also understand it. But I'd rather keep Joe Harris and trade Allen Crabbe. But I don't know if that's really going to happen. But that's what I'd rather see. I'd rather see Crabbe traded right now. I think he's an expendable player for this team. But, it's just been frustrating because the Nets need to get a more consistent team. And now, once again, a huge question is going to be, what's his rotation going to look like when D'Angelo Russell comes back? Because D'Angelo Russell is expected to either come back Friday against the Heat or on the next couple of weeks. We're not sure, and it's going to be at a limited capacity. But when he comes back, now what is his rotation going to look like? Kenny Atkinson already said Spencer Dinwiddie is probably going to still start. You're going to have Russell and Dinwiddie starting together. Then obviously you probably have Damari Carroll and Hollis Jefferson and Tyler Zeller. So then what's the rotation going to be? Karis LeVert's going to be the point guard. Okay. Allen Crabbe, Joe Harris, is that what we're seeing? And then similar rotation then as is? Okay, that means Nick Stauskas is going to be out of the rotation, which he's seen inconsistent time as well. So I don't know. Like I said, I personally would rather see Crabbe get traded. I don't know to what team. I don't know what circumstances could the Nets get anything for Crabbe. I don't think they will. I think it's more likely they're going to keep him. And like I said, I think it's more likely that someone like Joe Harris gets traded. But, because the trade deadline is like 2 weeks away. It's right at the beginning of February this year, which is early for it. So I don't know. But either way, this team has to be more consistent. And I also don't know about you guys, but I want to see more Jahlil Okafor. I feel like the Nets are not utilizing him the way they should. I feel like they need to get him more involved. I understand he's a low-post player. He's not overly athletic and quick. But I think the Nets need to get him the ball occasionally. And when I watch the Nets play, it's almost like he's just there. He's on the court. He doesn't really get the touches I think he should get. I think the Nets should be giving him 5 to 10 touches a game in the post. That's my personal opinion. And they don't do that. I think Jahlil should get at least 5 to 10 post touches against certain players to try to get going because he's the type of player that he's skilled enough that if he can get going on the offensive end, he could be a huge factor, you know? And, that being said, I just don't know if the Nets really want to, I think they just need to figure it out more. I think they need to get, more comfortable with him, get more in sync with him because he does seem a little out of place at times. But either way, I mean, I want to see more Jahlil Okafor. I want to see less Allen Crabbe. I want to see him gone. And I want to see what's going to happen with Isaiah Whitehead. He's someone that the Nets could trade. I'm going to go into more of that in my next NetsBoy episode before the trade deadline. It's probably going to be some moves or expectations I'm going to have with the Nets at the trade deadline because, look, Isaiah Whitehead's been buried in the G League. He's been dealing with a knee injury, so he hasn't really played that much down there either. But you look at this Nets team with Russell coming back, Spencer Dinwiddie playing the way he is, Karis LeVert proving that he can be a quality point guard. It really makes you wonder what's going to happen with Whitehead. And, like I said, I'm going to talk about that more in the next episode, but I'd rather see less Allen Crabbe, see Whitehead play in the NBA some more and play the two-guard spot because he's a combo guard. I would trade Allen Crabbe, keep Joe Harris, let Whitehead come off the bench as the two-guard and have the rotation be, Russell Dinwiddie, DeMarre Carroll, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, and Tyler Zeller starting, and have the backups be, Karis LeVert, Isaiah Whitehead, Joe Harris, Quincy Acee, and Jared Allen with, the whole Jahlil Okafor mixed in the rotation as well. That's the rotation I want to see, but I don't think that's going to happen. But, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about this Nets team, about the inconsistency, about if the Nets are not getting the calls, not getting the respect they deserve, or what you think about that. And let me know what you think about if Joe Harris is going to get traded, if you feel like maybe they should get Jahlil Okafor more involved, or I'll let you know if you're also sick of Allen Crabbe too. Because, the more you agree with me, the happier I get. The more you disagree with me, I don't really care. But I like it when people agree with me. So let me know what you guys think. And until the next time, keep your eyes open for the next NetsBoy episode, which, like I said, should be in about another week or so, right before, or maybe 2 weeks, right before the trade deadline, where I'm going to talk about some of the moves I feel the Nets should make by the trade deadline. So until then, this is NetsBoy. Just wishing the Nets just play a little bit more consistent, because 16-29 is not a good record, which I don't think I said that, but that's their record. And the next games moving forward do not get easier. They got the Heat on Friday, then the Pistons, then the Thunder, then the Bucks, and the Timberwolves again, then the Knicks. They got to start winning some games if they want to have a respectable showing by the end of the season. But anyway, sorry, got a little carried away. Till the next time, this is NetsBoy, signing off.